Hello everyone, this is Sriram Balaji. In this video, we'll talk about Dataverse Tables. Let's get started. I'll go to Design Studio, I'll click on Data Workspace, and then I'll go to the uh, tables. I can see there are two categories here. One, it says tables in the site. This section lists all the tables which are used in this site, and there's also the other table section, which lists all the database tables which are in this environment. So, database table is basically a storage where all your data for your Power Apps, rather Power Pages site is stored. Okay, so now let's say I want to go ahead and create a new table. So I say new table, I say employee, and by default, it gives a plural name as employees. So I can say I want this table to store employee data, right? So that's a description, and I can also have a toggle which says whether I can enable attachments. So this you can choose if you need to store along with the employee data, you need to store any kind of files along with the employee data. So I just say yes and then save. For now, what I've done is I already created the table called employee, so I'm not going to save. I'm just going to say cancel. In your case, you have to just hit save, and then uh, this creates the table for you. For me, it's already created. So if you see here, by default, when I created a table, the default, it actually creates the name field. This is the primary column, right? And also it creates a bunch of fields to the table. So the main thing I would kind of uh, stress on is the created by. So created by is the person or the user who has created this record, and the created on, this is a date on which this was created. There's also if you see modified by, so this is when you do an update to the record, it'll say who made that modification, as well as when was it last modified. So these are the four date fields that are created, that get created when you create a new table. So created on, created modified on, those are two date fields, sorry, and two fields which store the user who made the change. There's one who created, that's created by, and one who modified by. So I'm not going to go through all the fields. These are the fields that are already created. You don't need to create these fields. So moving on. Now let's say I'm in an employee table. I want to add more columns. So I for that I would click on new column. So this is a display name. So I say I want to store the email for the employee. So this would be the name of the field. This is how it's going to appear in the forms. So the description of the field, I can say store the email of an employee. The next one is the data type. This is an important property. So for a column, so what I'll go through is what are the different data types available. The broad categories here: text, number, date and time, a lookup, choice, and so on. So in the text data type, I can choose this is whether it's a single line of text or multiple line of text. A single line of text is just a name or stuff like that, where you just store the name just as in a single line. Where the multi-line of text is some kind of a description, as we saw in the description field above. So it actually involves multiple lines of text. For now, and here, since I'm storing email, I would actually choose email. So what this does is this is a single line of text, but the formatting is email, and that is for the email field. I'll say save. So there are different types of fields. As I said, the text field. I'm going to, once it saves, I'm going to show you the other types. That is the number field. So number, I'll just say new column. Uh, I'm going to say salary. I mean, typically you don't store salary, but I just for the just showing you, I'm going to say currency. This is a field. There's a specific field for currency for salary, right? Uh, and you can use that. I can also use the join date field. I have a join date field. So I have the date and time field here. So I can choose which date you joined. You don't, in date and time, there are two variants. One is you want to store both the date and time, or you just want to store the date only. So in this case, the join date, I just want the date. So I'll go ahead and just say date only. So that's the join date. Join date. I'll save. I guess I'll give a few seconds. Okay, that's a join date. I'll go ahead and choose a choice column. A choice column is basically a kind of a drop down, comes up like a drop down for it, or you can use it, for example, let me take an example as permanent, right? If is the employee a permanent employee, right? Permanent employee, I can say, you know, the it's a choice. Sorry, data type is choice is typically yes no here, right? Data type is yes no. So I can say that, and I can also have a different data type. For instance, in the choice, I want to have more than this is a built-in choice I've chosen. What I can do is I can have a choice wherein I can have multiple values for it, multiple choices. So for that, you have advanced options. You can do it. For now, what I'll do, I'll choose the built-in yes no for now, but this is sufficient for me. So just say that. I'll say save. So when it's saving this, I just want to talk about the lookup data type. So typically when you have tables, you have an employee table, you also have a lookup, right? So lookup is basically a reference to, or a reference or a relationship to another table. Okay, so the thing is, what we can do here is for this one, I can say I want to store the previous company which this employee worked on, right? So this will be a lookup to another entity. So let's say you have a table called companies. Typically, in Dynamics 365, there is already a default out of the box table called account. So for now, I say lookup, right? So lookup, it's a lookup field. So previous company is a lookup field. So what you can do now is, sorry, come on, lookup, right? So when you say lookup field, it asks you for the related table. I mean, what information you're storing here. So lookup field, I'll call it's related to account. Account is basically a companies. Typically, account table is used to store companies, company information. So I'll call it account, right? So I just save. So now you have the employee table where you have the name of the employee, the email, uh, the join date, the previous company, which is look up to it. Now, what you can do, just give a few seconds. It's taking a while to save. Okay, it's done. So if you can go it here, uh, what I can do is I can actually add a new row. So I can say the employee name is John Doe. His email is John Doe. Okay, John Doe at contoso.com. I can say this is today's the join date for him, right? So this is what you can do when you say new row. You can actually create a new row there, right? That's what it does. And you also have a new row using form. This actually opens up another form to create a new row. For now, I'm just not going to do that. So also your options, once you've created the data, your options to refresh it. So it'll refresh the data, refresh this table data. So it'll show any updates were there. So it'll show that. That's that. And you also have edit table properties. So edit table properties, remember, I said my display name is employee, plural name is employees. I can say just for the employees. I'm just changing that. And also, this is just, just let's say I'm going to typo, I just say, okay, table to store the employee data, or any, you can change the description. So all these modifications you can do. You can say save. So this is going to save that. So what we did is we were able to change a few table properties, and then we saved it. So if you go back, you can see the changes you made. So I'm just cancel that out. So that's about the tables. So we saw all these options, and we also have one more option I forgot is you can actually add existing columns. You can add, for now I've added all these. Let's say I have another, I just want to see, let's see, uh, email. Okay, so created on or something, so I can add this here, so that will also show here in the view. So that's it for this video. Just to recap, what you saw here is how to create a new table. Then once you create a table, then how to create a new columns in the table. Then if you want to insert data into table, you use new row to add data into table. And last thing was any edit, any table properties you want to edit, you can go ahead and do that. So I'll wrap up this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.